Hello there, my name is Bruce Stinson and I'm the chairman of the Alpha 8 Institute here in Hong Kong. I'd like to thank you for being involved in our weight loss program, and this short video is designed to show you a technique which will help you in that area. We all know that changing habits is a very difficult thing to do, and I'm going to show you how to change habits fairly easily. That might sound surprising, but it all revolves around a concept called the alpha brain state. In fact, it's why we're called the Alpha 8 Institute, because the alpha brain state is very, very important in all areas of our thinking. Now, we all know it's very hard to change a habit. We develop different ways of responding to situations, habits, as we go through life. And once we've developed a habit, it's very hard to change to a new way of responding. That's because we're creating pathways in our brain, connections of brain cells, which we use over and over again when we respond the same way or do the same thing, and then it's very, very hard to do it differently. Now, using the technique I'm about to show you, you can create a new pathway fairly simply. I'm not saying it's totally easy, but it's much easier than you might think. We need to use a couple of special skills that we all have. Imagination. I'm sure we can all imagine things. And also visualization, that ability to see things in our mind, which is also very important in the area of changing habits. Now, the alpha brain state is one of the 4 or 5 states our brain moves into each day. Our brain is a little bit like a car with different gears. Sometimes our brain is going very, very quickly, and we're thinking about lots of things almost at once. Not quite at once, because we can't actually do that, but almost at once. We've got a lot on our mind. So then we relax, and as we relax, our brain slows down to the point where when we're deep asleep, our brain is going very, very slowly, working very, very slowly, just like the car going at a very slow pace. Now, the alpha brain state is the almost asleep state. It's the daydreaming state. It's a state we go into many, many times during the day. It's the state we go into when we're reading a book, when we're watching a movie. It's a single focus state. When we're in the alpha brain state, we can only think about one thing at a time. And that's why it's so important in this area of changing habits, because we can focus on one thing and we can program almost our subconscious in a different way. Now, how do we do this? Okay, firstly I'm going to show you a technique for going into the alpha state anytime you want to. Perhaps before I show you this technique, I should tell you 2 important things. The first is that you don't have to remember everything you see on this video. You're going to get a copy of the video, so you can watch it again and again, and you can fast forward through the boring bits. But also, you're going to have all this information in written form, so there's no need to be too nervous about, am I getting it all, am I remembering everything? You don't have to do that at all. Just listen and try to take in as much as possible. The technique I'm going to show you we call the calm place technique. Now, it's a means of going into the alpha state deliberately. I said that before, but it's a means of going into this all-important alpha state whenever you want to. The first thing I'd like you to do is think about a place in your life where you felt really good, where you felt very calm and very relaxed. It may be somewhere where you went on holiday. It may be a room that you spent a lot of time in as a child, where you felt really good, safe and calm. I want you to think about that place. We're going to use that place as a focus to help us get into the alpha state quickly and whenever we want to. Now, here's the technique. The first thing I'd like you to do is make sure you're comfortable in your chair. Sit there relaxed, sit up straight, but relax and be comfortable. Put your thumb and forefinger of each hand together like that. I'll explain what that's about later. Then I want you to close your eyes and I want you to start breathing deeply. Slow, deep breaths. Okay? Next, I'd like you to picture a pathway. This pathway is going to take you to your calm place. You're looking forward to getting there. You're getting quite excited about the idea that you're going to be in this favourite place. I want you to imagine now that the pathway has taken you to the calm place. You're in that calm place, you're in your favourite place. Look around. Use all your senses. See the sights that are there, hear the sounds, smell the smells. Relax. Introduce some positive emotion. Think about something great that happened to you while you're in this place and feel good about it. And the last thing I'd like you to do, with your eyes still closed, Move them up towards the ceiling and then back towards the centre. Okay, now open your eyes and let me explain a couple of things there. First of all, what's that all about? Okay, that's a trigger. I'm going to ask you to do this 4 or 5 times a day, this calm place technique. And we know that our subconscious mind picks up on things and repeats them. What will actually happen eventually is, as soon as you do that, your brain is going to say, oh, we're going into the alpha state. Right? It's a trigger to help you get there. The second thing is, why do we move our eyes up and back towards the centre when we're trying to relax? The reason is because that's the last thing we do before we go to sleep. So again, that's another way of making us feel very relaxed. Remember, the alpha state is a relaxed state, a single focus state. Okay, now you can practice that again several times, but let me move on. Okay, we're in the alpha state. What do we do when we're there? We tell our mind something we would like to be true. We tell our mind what our new habit we want to achieve is. And we do this by making a statement. These statements are called affirmations. For example, in a weight loss situation, the affirmation we might use when we're in our calm place might well be, I only eat healthy food. Okay? Or it might be something like, I do my exercise every day. Now that affirmation that you say to yourself in your calm place state, in your alpha state, using the calm place technique, is a statement that your mind can begin to believe very, very quickly if you use a few important extra techniques. And we call these the 5P rules of affirmations. Firstly, when you create a statement that you're going to use as an affirmation to create a new habit, it must be positive. So you don't say something like, I don't eat fatty food. Because if you say that, your mind immediately pictures fatty food. So you've actually done the opposite of what you're trying to achieve. The second thing is, it must be personal. It's no good me having an affirmation that I'm using, for example, for the behaviour of my children, saying, my children will always be well behaved. Because the fact is, unless they're using the affirmation, it's not going to work. It has to be about you. Mostly your affirmations should start with the words, I always. You must use present tense. It's no good saying, from next week, I'm going to go to the gym every day, because your subconscious mind can't grab from next week. It wants to know what you do now. You have to convince it that you're actually doing this now. Must be persistent. That's the 4th P. In other words, you need to do this more than once a day. You need to do it 4 or 5 times a day. And always you need to picture it. You need to see it and you need to feel good about it. Right? See the result and feel good about it. So if I'm saying to myself, I only eat healthy food, I'm seeing myself thin, fit, well and happy. And I'm feeling good about it. The emotional centre is very important in anything that we do where we're trying to create new pathways for our brain. So, how often do we do this? As I said, 4 or 5 times a day. How hard is that? It'll take you about a minute to get into your alpha state situation. You can do it first thing when you wake up in the morning, you can do it last thing before you go to sleep at night, you can do it sitting at your desk, you can do it almost any time. I wouldn't suggest you do it while you're driving the car. Okay, so 4 or 5 times a day, and also you must always picture the result and feel good about the result. Bring in that visualization and that emotional connection. And the thing is, your subconscious doesn't know that that's not true. After you've been doing that for a few days, your subconscious believes that that is your behaviour. And what happens? What happens is, you go to the buffet table and you look at the piece of fried fish and you go to pick it up and your subconscious says, I'm not going to do that. And instead you pick up some salad. This is actually how it works. Your subconscious starts to believe that this is your behaviour, and provided you've set up a good affirmation that works for the particular habit you're looking at the moment, which is, in this case, it's eating, provided you've set up a suitable affirmation, your subconscious will believe it and start to act on it. Now, it's up to you to develop your own affirmations. We can help you, and of course we can make suggestions, but your affirmations need to follow that 5P rule, which you'll see in the written material. They should be, probably most of them would be, I always do something or other, I always, and picturing it at the same time. Now, if you do this, you will find your behaviour changes, and you can use this technique for any other area where you would like to change a habit. We are focused at the moment on weight loss, but you could use it for other areas. Now we're going to do a couple of other things for you. One is we're going to check that you actually can access the alpha state using a very simple device to measure your brain waves. When you go into the calm place, we will actually check that you can access the alpha state, because it's important that we know that you can do that, and it's important that you know you can do that. Otherwise, we're wasting our time. So as I say, you can watch this video over and over until you're sick of me, which won't take too long, but also to pick up on anything you might have missed. And I wish you every success with the program. I'm sure you're going to get great results. Thank you.